That's the one. I shot this FiLMiC Pro Log V3, and I used my Log V3 LUT to do the grade. So here's what the original footage looks like. And when you're looking at the log, the glow looks much heavier than it actually is once it's graded down. I thought that was kind of interesting. I had never even heard of a variable ND filter with mist before my last video I did about the Polar Pro mist and the Light Chaser Pro. And so now it's cool to see that not only do Polar Pro have one for their iPhone version, but of course they have the Peter McKinnon version, and now Freewell has one too. And speaking of the Light Chaser Pro, this is a rig that I would feel safe putting a larger setup on like this. I would not put this on my Moment case. This is a very sturdy construction, and the bayonet mounts are a little bit snug, which is good in this case because this is not necessarily heavy, but it's also not light, and so rigging it on a traditional case wouldn't be great. And so using this or something like a Beast Cage or similar would be ideal. The filters I got here are the 77mm version, and I tend to do that because that way I can use these on my traditional cameras as well. I have a lot of EF mount lenses, and so I always recommend getting the largest filter you can and then use step-up rings for different size lenses. Now, if you wanted to get this filter for just using on smaller cameras or iPhones, they do make a 58mm version, and that's what I would recommend because then it would fit on mounts like the Moondog and Moment stuff, and you wouldn't have to worry about the weight either. I previously reviewed the Freewell variable ND filter, and those were excellent, but one thing that these new ones have that the other one doesn't are hard stops. And so the hard stops are nice for two main reasons, really. And the first one being this will all but eliminate any vignetting and the dreaded cross-polarization and the X pattern you can get. The second thing is if you're using a traditional camera in particular and you set your ND and then you go to adjust the focus, you can sometimes bump the ND filter. With the new hard stops, that won't happen. Of course, the main thing that mist filters do is glow the highlights. They add a little bit of halation around the highlights, and this one does a pretty good job with that. That is a subjective thing. Some people may not like that look. I think the look is great. The nice thing is you get the glowing highlights, but then the main image still has nice contrast. I think it does lift the black levels just a little bit, but overall, if something is not overexposed or has bright highlights, the overall image maintains a nice contrast level. One thing too is it takes the digital edge off, well, digital video. Smartphones in particular can look sharp, and I'm shooting log V3 here, but even on my skin tone here, it has a very nice, soft, pleasing look. It doesn't look like traditional smartphone footage, that's for sure. Now here's a different shot of my face, and this time I'm backlit. And so here is with the filter, and then here is without the filter. So again, it just takes that digital edge off, and in my opinion, makes it more of a cinematic look. I mentioned that having these hard stops will help reduce or eliminate vignetting and also the cross polarization. These shots of my dog here I shot with the standard wide lens, the tele, and the ultra wide. And I didn't have any issues whatsoever. I think it all looks good. Traditionally using mist filters, I think of movies. I think of maybe sci-fi movies. And I also think of shooting at nighttime when I think of lights. With this filter, since it's a variable ND filter, I don't know that it's best for that, especially using a smartphone. But I did shoot one shot here to demonstrate that. And overall, I think this looks pretty good. Here's with the filter. And without the filter. And then here's a side by side. You can see the filter just adds a little bit of highlight glow, which I do like for certain things. Not everything, but for certain things for sure. But for shooting stuff at night, I would probably recommend just getting a traditional mist filter, not one with ND built in. So overall, I think these are very good filters, and I also think they're a very good value. These are only $110. They have two versions, the 3 to 5 stop, and then the 6 to 9 stop. And if you buy the kit together, you save even more money. Links for these and all the other gear I've shown in this video are in the description. So what do you think? Do you like the idea of a variable ND and a mist filter? Let me know in the comments below. I personally think this could work as an everyday filter, so definitely something to consider. Thanks for watching, guys. This is Blake Calhoun. Please like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.